We all breathe the same air, with one atmosphere sustaining billions of lives. And as if that wasn't enough, pollution remains a growing global phenomenon. Protecting what we breathe in should therefore be heavy focus of institutions, industries, and individuals. While the world observes International Day of Clean Air for Blue Skies, we'll reinforce the ideas of proper garbage disposal, government's role, and yours in creating clean air for blue skies. This is Jamaica Magazine, and I'm Theodore Henry. Let's have a more detailed talk after the news.
Let us resolve our family disputes peacefully. A family is a circle of love, support, and strength. Violence has no place.
The proceeding was brought to you by the Office of the Prime Minister.
Good day, I'm Stephen McHugh, and this is your JIS News for Wednesday, September 7, 2022. The Jamaica Constabulary Force, JCF, along with other law enforcement partners, have seized 518 illegal firearms between January and August this year. The figure represents a 12% increase when compared to the same period last year. 9,082 rounds of ammunition were also seized during the period. Charges have been laid on 657 persons for illegal possession of firearms. While giving the update at the JCF's virtual monthly press conference on Tuesday, Police Commissioner Major General Anthony Anderson said the force will continue its multi-agency partnership and strong community engagements to achieve desired changes in communities.
We will not be distracted or lose focus on our mandate to apprehend criminals, ensure public order, and save lives.
Meanwhile, with robberies and break-ins on the rise, the police commissioner said measures have been put in place to acquire mobility assets and train additional quick response motorcyclists.
These initiatives are just about coming on stream, and as the process continues, we are also employing technology and intelligence to target known perpetrators. Now, it's important to note that analysis of the data shows robberies are down 22%, whilst break-ins are down 24% from pre-COVID levels.
Still at that press briefing, Major General Anthony Anderson said despite the high levels of enforcement to restore public order on the roadways, the issuing of tickets has not changed the behavior of motorists. The police commissioner said between 2018 and August 2022, over 1.6 million tickets were written, of which less than 40% were paid, and the remainder of persons largely still have their licenses and continue to reoffend. To mitigate the negative results, the electronic traffic ticket management system will now generate an automatic warrant for unpaid tickets with past court dates. For tickets written prior to the electronic system, the police are working with the courts to get warrants for serial offenders, which will result in revoked or suspended licenses and prison terms.
We expect that with the passing of the new road traffic regulations, persons who break the law will face greater penalties. Our presence on the roadways will only go so far, and as such, motorists must exercise due care and personal responsibility. We are also anticipating a robust public education campaign as the regulations come into effect. We'll lend our support to the Ministry of Transport in educating the motoring public.
Commissioner Anderson was speaking at JCF's virtual monthly press conference on Tuesday. In other news, 6,000 primary and 3,600 infant schools will benefit from a supply of new furniture in the next 2 weeks. This will continue throughout the school year to ensure that all students are adequately accommodated for the new academic year. Minister of Education and Youth Fable Williams made the disclosure during Tuesday's Parliament sitting.
We now have 10 schools in the furniture making business to supply our schools. Yes, to date, 5,776 desks and chairs have been distributed. 104 schools have benefited.
Minister Williams says teachers will also receive 8,000 pieces of furniture to ensure a comfortable working environment. In addition, she indicated that a program is ongoing to treat furniture for termites. Meanwhile, Education Minister Favour Williams is pleading with parents to encourage their children to follow school regulations so that uninterrupted learning takes place. According to Minister Williams, rules are in place to maintain a standard of discipline. Speaking at the Franklin Town Primary School in Kingston on Monday, Minister Favour Williams said cooperation among the parents, teachers and staff is necessary for a successful school year.
And so if the school says it's brown shoes, not black, we want you to make that investment on behalf of your child. If the school says a tie, please don't send your child without a tie.
And finally, the Ministry of Justice has signed a Memorandum of Understanding, MOU, with the island's churches to undertake a 2-day training session with its members. Under the MOU, the ministry will lead a restorative justice training program teaching alternative methods of settling disputes, ways to avoid reprisals, and reduce violence and abuse in the churches and communities. Portfolio Minister Delroy Chuck says the ministry will continue its commitment to make justice accessible to all institutions, especially to the churches.
I can assure you that this 2-day program will really be transformative. People will engage and become different persons because we have done it with teachers, students, community members, JPs, and it has been having an enormous impact on people's lives.
In May of this year, the ministry forged a similar partnership with the Ministry of Education, where teachers and students were trained in restorative justice and alternative dispute resolution. And that's it for JIS News Today. I'm Stephen McHugh. Thanks for watching.
Breast milk is the ideal food for babies and can satisfy all the infant's nutritional needs for the first 6 months of life. It provides much needed antibodies to protect them against all kinds of infections. Babies exclusively breastfed have less episodes of diarrhea, acute respiratory infection, and skin conditions. Breastfeeding also benefits mommies too, through decreased risk of breast and ovarian cancers, improved postpartum recovery, and reduced iron loss. Breastfeed your baby to give him or her the best start for a healthy life. Remember, breastfeeding is best.
As government seeks to continue building a better public sector, be inspired by the work and impressively large strides of Sheila Monteith, Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade.
Come in.
Hi, Sheila.
Hi,
How
dear.
are you?
Welcome. Good to have you. Welcome.
Tell us, what are your morning rituals?
I tend to get up very early in the mornings and to try to be at work early because our missions, we have them overseas, and because of the time difference, we really have to have an early start here in order to meet them at the better point in their day.
All right. And in one sentence, can you tell us what you do?
I'm the Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade and head of the Jamaican Foreign Service, and we have responsibility for the development, implementation, and management of Jamaica's foreign policy and relations.
Okay.
One moment.
No problem.
Yes. Yes. All right, no problem. I'll leave shortly.
Always busy, I see.
Never a dull moment, never a dull moment. So much to do.
What was the most difficult decision for you this week, and why was it difficult?
It is not only for this week, I always have difficult decisions. I have a rapidly changing agenda, and very often I have to just shift course and not be able to meet with staff, which would be on my agenda. And I find that is something that I really miss not being able to do. And but it is the nature of the job. Hi, Andrea. How are you? Thank you so much, and thanks for your work. Yes, and we just have to live with the very fast-paced nature of this job and hope for understanding for the staff, and they have been good.
Has anyone or anything made you feel inspired lately?
I take quite a bit of inspiration on a Saturday morning when I walk up Mountain Spring. I see people of all kinds, shapes, size, ages, and they are pressing on. It's a really very demanding track, and just seeing them and see their, their fortitude and their courage and just their persistence, and I have found that encouraging. It also teaches a valuable lesson because I learned that it takes a long time to climb to the top, but you can come down even in just about half the time. So it means that you have to be really very careful and thoughtful about how you conduct yourself and your work. Good to see you.
What would you like your legacy in the public sector to be?
I'd really like to help to build the conviction about the pursuit of excellence. We need a tradition of excellence in the public service, and I hope that I can contribute to instill that in those who are working with me and around me.
Where's the most interesting place your work has taken you?
I have been to many countries, but I have to say, only because it is the smallest country I've been to, Monaco. Really very interesting rock, if one could call it that, and the corner of Europe, and I have found it to be quite delightful.
Before we go, I'd love for you to recommend one book you think everyone should read.
I don't have one book. I have one type of book. Autobiographies and biographies. I think there is something about being inspired by the stories of others. So if you think of persons, J.J. Mills, Edna Manley, Barack Obama, Nelson Mandela, and all that you can learn about life from their own stories, that I find very inspiring. And that is what I would recommend. We just take the time to see how others have been inspired to live their own lives. That's what I would recommend.
All right, thank you so much, Sheila. Have a good one.
The pleasure is all mine. Thank you for coming.
We need trees if we are to be able to live on this planet. So I want to encourage you to join and partner with the My Tree Legacy Promotion and support your alma mater. For me, St. Peter and Paul, Campion College, University of West Indies, roll out and plant some trees.
Register your alma mater for the Forestry Department's My Tree Legacy Promotion and be a part of the preservation of Jamaica, land we love. Every tree counts. Plant a tree today and keep climate change away.
Not disposing of your garbage properly means that you're contributing to air and water pollution and ultimately influencing climate change. We want to help, so our next feature will look at the different types of waste and the best ways to dispose of them.
Every single day, every living thing creates waste. What's waste? It's any substance that we discard of or throw out after it has served its primary purpose. For example, after having the water in this bottle, I no longer need it, so the bottle becomes waste. Here in Jamaica, we create an average of over 8,000 tons of solid waste per day.
We, from time to time, do what we call garbage characterization survey. This is where we actually go island-wide and take samples of the garbage and look at what makes up the garbage, what's the composition of the garbage.
Regardless of what makes up your garbage, if you don't dispose of them correctly, we'll contribute to air and water pollution, flooding and diseases while influencing climate change. That's why today we'll look at the different types of waste and the best ways to dispose of them. Well, lunch was good. Sorry you missed it, but I want to point out how much waste I created from just 30 minutes of eating. I have this empty water bottle, well, almost empty, a lunch box. I have napkins, a fork, and I have some leftovers. So far, I've created organic, recyclable, and solid waste. Other types of waste include hazardous and liquid. Let's go ahead and break them down while looking on how to dispose of each. Let's start with organic waste. Organic waste is any material that is biodegradable and comes from either a plant or an animal. Examples include paper, leftover food, leaves, branches, and livestock manure. Over time, organic waste eventually breaks down into fertilizer, but not if it goes to the landfill. That's not good. There it will produce methane, and high levels of methane can reduce the amount of oxygen in the air, which will affect our breathing. So, where should it go? Organic waste shouldn't go into your bin. Take it round a back and start a composting heap.
We believe that composting provides an excellent opportunity.
Composting is rather simple. Cut the bottom from a container and place it directly on the ground in a cool or shaded location in your backyard.
First, we start with some grass from the lawn. I have some cardboard that I bought some things at the store and I got. This is cardboard. So I just cut it up and I throw it in.
Then add wood chips, fruits and vegetable waste, and animal waste from your cows or goats.
You need moisture, you need air.
Keep your compost moist and stir it regularly.
More.
We would produce the best soil nutrients for our flower beds, our farms, our little kitchen gardens. We will then be cutting back on expensive buying fertilizer.
Liquid waste includes fluids such as domestic wastewater, sewage, processed water, grease, or other liquids. Wastewater from doing the dishes, laundry, and showering are considered grey water and can be used in your garden. Hazardous waste can be liquid or solid. It includes all types of rubbish that are flammable, toxic, corrosive, and reactive. First things first, don't throw hazardous waste, whether liquid or solid, in your bin. Follow the labels on hazardous products for disposal instructions and buy the exact amount that you need. So if you use all of it, you really don't have any waste. You can flush some hazardous household wastes followed by plenty of water. This only applies though to hazardous household waste that can be neutralized by water. And when in doubt, reach out to the NSWMA. Solid waste is any tangible item that has already served its primary purpose and is discarded by individuals. This type of waste is commonly broken down into plastic, paper, metals, tins, ceramics, and glass. The good news is that most of the solid waste we create are recyclable and compostable. That's another reason it's important to separate your garbage. This way, you can create a compost heap with your solid organic waste and recycle bottles, furniture, and other solid waste. For those in terrible condition, drop them in your Jomadi gates and the NSWMA will be there on the double for them. And if you don't have a drum, the NSWMA will provide one under its Jomadi Gate initiative.
So we are issuing you with your own drums. So you have control over your receptacles, don't it? So your garbage don't have to be littered all over the place.
Recyclable waste refers to all the items we can convert into products that are useful. These include my water bottle, solid items such as paper, metals, furniture, and organic waste. Well, you don't really dispose of recyclable waste. At least, you shouldn't. Reusing or upscaling is the way to go. We're all responsible for the waste we create, And by separating them and practicing proper waste disposal, we'll create a beautiful, safe, and healthy environment, doing our part to make Jamaica the place of choice to live, work, raise families, and do business.
To deal with crime and violence, we must be united. Please cooperate with the security forces. Call 311-119 or the JDF tip line. If you know something and you not talk, you're a part of the problem.
The proceeding was brought to you by the Office of the Prime Minister.
Parents, guardians, educators, join Prime Minister the Most Honorable Andrew Holness and Minister of Education and Youth the Honorable Favour Williams for a town hall under the theme Education Time for Action. Friday, September 9, starting at 5 p.m. at the Jamaica College Auditorium, 189 Old Hope Road. Join us on location or watch and share your questions and thoughts on the JI social media platforms. We want to hear from you.
Today we also celebrate the birth of a remarkable Jamaican figure, Dr. the Honorable Louise Bennett, who, among other things, played a significant role in giving space and shape to our Jamaican language. As we celebrate Miss Lou, a reflection on some of her works.
Well, in 1944, Jamaica received a new constitution from the British government, and it had some nice things in it for Jamaica, especially the part of the universal suffrage, where people were able to vote. When I say people, I mean adults were able to vote. For once upon a time before that, you had to have a whole lot of land, or you had to have a big salary before you could go and vote. But now we were going to have we had this new constitution, and we were going to have this universal suffrage where people would be able to vote freely. Then there were some good working conditions for male and female especially, and this was very good. And a lot of people felt the new constitution was a step forward, you know, and they were happy about this. God give and take in different ways, and we can tell you one. Him take Jack Smith, but him give a new constitution. Now I have to explain about the Jack Smith part. Jack Smith is a J.A.G. Smith, who was then a legislator, and he had died, but he had a reputation for talking about universal suffrage and standing up for the working people and that kind of thing. So the verse says, him take Jack Smith, but him give a new constitution. When Jack's dead, all of it was sad. We walk about with long face. Is who going to take up for we now? Is who going to take him place? Then governor go fly away. And massa, every bit of me family start with fret. Say sinting in a it. I tell them make him fly. It's either that him bring going broke, or him going reach some fruitful place and bring back some good luck. And so say so done. Few days time, like Noah dove him land. And guess what drop out him out? A new constitution. Be glad if you read the same thing, that woman in a power and so forth. But the thing what make me joyful is for no say we can vote. Laksa, it used to gripe me gut every voting day, when some gone in go vote and some have it turn upside way. And most of we what couldn't vote had good education, but what we was a suffer from was bad constitution. But all of that going match up now. Everything going better. Better housing, better wages, better Jamaica. Since more of we can vote, we have more opportunity to put in more better man of council to do better things for we. Aye, aye, aye.
Respect for myself and others. Self-discipline means there's a right way to conflict resolution. Kindness and compassion say being nice is normal. honesty and integrity are badges of honor. Yes, we choose values for life.
Hi, I'm Suzanne Rousseau. I am one half of a sister team. This is my sister Michelle. We are, Lord, we're lots of things. We're restaurateurs, we have been caterers, we've been in the food business for the past 20-something years.
Our father was also a hotelier and in the restaurant business, so we grew up in a functioning, operating restaurant just because we were around that environment a lot. And we perceive ourselves not as chefs, but as sort of translators and storytellers of the lifestyle.
I think food is a source of unity and connectivity because I think everyone can kind of go, oh, over something delicious. Whether you're from Japan, Italy, or Jamaica, you can find commonality in the experience of something delicious.
I think the magic of Jamaica is really sort of intertwined with the cuisine and the personality of the people and the music and the sort of the vibrant energy that you get. And yet that's completely and perfectly married in the cuisine because the cuisine is a melange of traditional foods inherited from slavery and colonial days. It's fun, it's vibrant, it's energetic, and it really marries very well with the lifestyle that we have here.
I think food is celebration, it's coming together, it's sharing, and I think very much in the Caribbean, it is very typical for families to gather, friends to gather, to celebrate over a meal. Caribbean culture and Jamaican culture is a culture of community and of celebration of life, even in hardship and even in hard times. And so I think all of those things just offer another kind of perspective. It's a unique way of living and a unique way of being.
We're about to wrap things up, but just before we go, a little reminder that air and water pollution does not see borders. So the fight against climate change should remain a global one. Think about the impact that you can make in this regard. As always, we want to thank you for staying with us through today's magazine journey. Let's engage more on our website at www.jis.gov.jm. From all of us here at the JIS, I'm Theodore Henry. See you soon.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.